Black Sheep Props channel. I'm Steve and I'm here to teach you the tips, tools, techniques, and materials for building your very own super cool EVA foam props. Now in our last build we went manga when we built the Britannia pistol from Code Geass. And if you missed that build, we'll include the link in the description below to our channel's homepage, so you can go over there and check out Britannia pistol or any of the other super cool builds we have there. Now for this build, we're going to go sci-fi. So without further ado, Black Sheep Props would like to introduce you to the newest member of the family. Oh, check it out. Pretty obscure, but pretty darn cool. It is the Blunderbuss from the sci-fi movie Looper. Look at that thing, man. Black oxidized steel, scratched up, weathered, rust patches popping out on it, wood handle wrapped with stained up, grody tape around the handle. We've got the cool steel rod for the trigger guard. Man, this thing's cool. Pow! This thing is very cool. And again, very obscure, but I had to build it. This thing is so super cool. So in this episode, making an EVA foam blunderbuss, we're going to go step by step through how to make it, we're going to seal it, and we're going to paint it. And you can build along with us if you want. We have a template, so we'll include the link in the description below to our storefront, so you can go grab a template if you want, or don't, just watch the video. All right, man, let's dive in. If we're ready to hit it, let's make something. Okay, this whole entire build is going to be built off of a 48mm dowel. All right, this should be super easy. And we started making our marks. Here's our front end with our 3 pieces. Here's the whole central piece that has all the vent marks on it. Here's the back pieces right here, and then the handle's going to come off of there. So we're going to use this 48mm dowel all the way down to there. So let's go ahead and knock that off on the bandsaw. Okay, there we go. Nice. Now we're going to start doing all of our pieces that are going to wrap around it. Okay, we're going to make the front part of our barrel out of a couple 3mm pieces and some 6. All right. Okay, now we're going to bring our brass tube in, and we're going to pop these little circles out on the end. Okay, now we're going to keep these and put them in our little rivet container. Okay, now we're going to come in and we're going to connect from edge of circle to edge of circle. There we go. Now just finish them off. Now we're coming in with our other 3mm piece, and we've got our lines drawn and a little arrow pointing to it because that's where we want to line up each piece, just like that. Okay, now we're going to line this up flush at the top, right there, down on our Sharpie marks. Okay, there we go. Simple detail. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come back in with our brass tube, and we're going to poke right through where our top hole is to get that bottom 3mm piece poked out. Just like that. Okay, now let's cut our ends off, and let's slightly tip our knife just a tiny bit. You want a slight bevel on the edge. All right, there we go. Now we're gonna... Okay. Sweet little piece right there. We got a slight bevel. We've got a bevel this way on the end and this way. So when it comes around, it should make really nice contact. All right. Okay, now we're going to take these 6mm pieces and we're going to cut 12 of those out. And those are just... Don't race by your hand because you don't want to jump the tracks and hit your thumb. That would not be good. We need 12 of these. And we won't cut from end to end. We'll just make sure we clear those lines so it stays together. We don't want it all falling apart yet. All right, there we go. Now, see that? It's all still together. Now we'll make the end cut to start separating them. Okay, now we took 1.5 inch measurement and we drew a line all the way around our piece, okay, and that's where we're going to lay this on. So after we wrap it, we're going to have a little bit of a recess right here, which is what we want. So, okay, give those a minute and then we'll wrap it. Lay it down right on our line. Now we're going to roll it. We're going to keep this line lined up with the bottom. All right, there we go. Nice. Make our mark at every edge, just like that. Okay, we're going to use our super glue. And we're going to hold it while it bonds. Okay. All right, there's one row. Let's make a mark and do a second row. All right, there we go. That is pretty cool. Very nice. All right, we've got an 8mm piece of foam. We took an extra piece and we did a little test wrap so we know we have the right length on here. So we're going to... Okay, we haven't made our cut yet. We want to round our edges first. All right, there we go. We've got a slightly rounded top. Now we can come in and make our cut. All right, now we're going to do a so slight bevel. Just a little bit. Tip the knife just a tiny bit. Right there. Okay, now we've got this big 3mm wrap. All right, now we're going to come through with our brass tube. We're going to pop out all the ends and connect the lines and do the exact same thing we did right here. Right there. There we go. We're going to line it up. Okay, there we go. We've got our vents on the side. Not bad. Now we don't have a perfect seam here. There's a couple little itty bitty gaps, but what we'll do when we're done building this is we'll use some quick seal and we'll fill those gaps in and it'll be fine. All right, let's go ahead and tighten this up with some heat. All right, there we go. The foam's pretty tight. All right, now we're going to take a 4mm piece. We'll cut the two sides. All right, there we go. We got a rounded edge. Now you saw we got too close to the Dremel with our rubber glove and it ripped our finger off. Good thing it didn't rip our finger off. But see, even if you hit the Dremel while you're working, it really doesn't, you know, it really doesn't do any damage. See that? But it does, can get a hold of your rubber glove and wham, rip the finger off just like it did. And that was some action there. All right, stick it down there. Okay, we've got a 6mm piece of foam. We measured this end piece right here and we did a test wrap to make sure we've got our proper length. And then we just put 3 lines down the middle. What we're going to do is we're going to come in with our wood burner and there you go, the same speed. Don't speed up or slow down or the width of the line will change. And right there. Okay, now what we're going to do is before we wrap it, we're going to slightly round these edges. Now because it's going to be a wrap, we need to cut the bevel on the end. Get our with a slight bevel right there. Okay, there we go. Bevel on the edges. Let's make sure it fits. Oh, wow. Nice. All right, now get started. We're going to push this right up against our collar right here. Okay, now we're going to line up our wood burn lines. Alright, right there. Let's get these. It's pretty sweet. Okay, we're going to start making our pieces that are going to go on the side of this. It's going to be made up of a 2mm and some 3mm. Alright. Alright, let's make all of our lines on here. There. Stick it down right there, overlapping. Nice. Flush with the back edge, and we're just going to go flush right down our Sharpie line. Okay, here we go. A couple little details, 6mm and 4mm. We're going to pop a couple holes out with our brass tube. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna do the details that go along the top, all right? It's gonna be made up of a 3mm piece and a 6mm piece. We're going to do a bevel cut with the knife tipped right through here. And then we're going to do a bevel cut right down this other side. Right there. All right, there we go. Simple. Bevel on both sides. Now we're going to come through and we're going to knock each of these pieces off separately. Right there. All right, check that out. There's a bunch of them. Now, carefully. Let's follow our Sharpie line all the way down. Okay, now the same thing we did before. We're gonna really smush it down because it's got to go around the curved barrel. We're going with super glue on these. Now we're going to smush it down so it wraps around the curve, and we're going to go one little segment at a time. Kind of gets a little bit tighter, gets kind of shiny. Look at that. Now everything on here is curving. These pieces here are all curving. These are all curving, and this is all curving around our central barrel. Look at that, man. That's really complicated looking, but man, you saw how easy this was. This is really, really easy so far. Okay, now we're going to do the little piece that goes along the bottom, and it's going to be made up of a couple 48s and a 6mm. Now we drew this little pattern on here. We're going to cut both of these out on the bandsaw. Okay, there we go. Two. Ah, geez, we're way off right here. Look at that. That's kind of tough when you're fitting two pieces together like that. All right, but this part's good right here because this is going to come in and sit right on our curved barrel really nice, but it's this back part that got all funky. So, get our dust mask on. Okay, you know what we always say, don't be a dum-dum. Do not Dremel and throw dust all over the place and breathe it up your nose. Wear a dust mask. Now we're going to come in with our smooth bit and we're going to clean it up just a little bit. All right, let's come in with our 80 grit sandpaper. All right, now we come in with our 220 sanding stick. It's a little finer. Okay, we're going to take this 4mm piece of foam. Okay, there we go. Now we're centered. Now we're going to roll this right over to the side. And we're going to roll this right over to the side. We're going to paint our space. Now we're going to come in and put this right in place, and we're going to press it down. We're going to get a lot of pressure on there so we can get a nice flush fit. We've got a curved barrel and a curved bottom to our piece, and look at that. That's perfect. Wow, really, really nice. Okay, we're going to use some of our leftover rivets from our All right, there we go. A couple little ones on the bottom, couple on the sides. Okay, now what we're going to do is the same way we put this long 3mm strip right here down the top, we're going to do the same thing on the bottom, and it's going to cover that seam. All right, so we're going to cut a strip for here and for here out of 3mm. We get our sides down so it's curving around our barrel. Okay, now here comes our handle. We're going to use this giant 48mm piece. We're going to cut this out on the bandsaw, and then we're going to shape it. Okay, there we go. Obviously too thick. All right, now this is going to be coming in off of the back of here, so we're going to need this shape to be right on here. Get our rough mark on here. This isn't exact, just sort of rough. We're going to take our time and we're going to cut the corner off. See how easy that was? We're almost completely shaped out already. Gee whiz. All right, let's get our dust mask on and some gloves, and let's get to dremeling. That's pretty good. I think we might be in good shape right here. All right, here's our 80 grit sanding stick. Now we're gonna really start to clean this thing up. Around. So we have a nice clean edge. All right, now we come in with our 220. That's a little bit finer grit. It's going to help us clean it up even more. Oh yeah, wow. Look at how that tightened up the foam. Got it a little bit stiffer, got it a little bit glossy. Pretty nice. Perfect. All right, woohoo. Not completely perfect, but we can clean that up. That's nice. There it is. Wow. All right, let's clean up a little bit right here. All right, there we go. That is pretty darn clean right there. Okay, here we are at the spray stand, and we're going to begin coating our Blunderbuss with our Plastidip. All right, there we go. Check it out. Several coats of Plastidip. We're coated all the way around. Nice and easy. Nothing real tricky on here. That's about it. That is all she wrote. We're going to let it dry. Then we're going to paint it. Okay, here we are at the spray stand. We're going to begin coating our blunderbuss with our flat black. Okay, there we go. It's coated with our flat black. Look at the difference. How rich this black is compared to the Plastidip black. Okay, now we're going to start to weather this a little bit. So we're going to come in with our wrought iron. Then we're going to make all the black metal look a little bit oxidized. All right. All right, check that out. See how it's all blotchy? That's exactly what we wanted. Okay, now we're going to come in with our sterling silver. All right, just like that. We're going to take our time, fill in the bulk of it, and then come in with a tiny brush and get the little ends. All right, now just take your time. Cover them all. There's 16 of them. Okay, and since we're using the sponge brush, we're going to leave naturally dark crevices around those rivets, which will help with the aging look. Okay, now we're coming in with our real brown. Okay, now we're only going to do the very end of our handle because the rest of it's going to be wrapped. So we really only need the very end done. Okay, now we're coming in with our real brown. This is going to be the initial layer for some rust. All right, there we go. We've got splotches of brown all around the whole piece. All right. Okay, now we're going to come in with our Cafe con Leche. It's like a kind of an orange, a little bit of an orange brown. Like that. And that's going to really make it start looking like rust right there. And we're gonna fade it a little bit and just get little tiny bits of that lighter kind of orange brown on there, like that. And then we're gonna fade it a little bit. And that is starting to look like we have some rust happening now. Look at that. Wow, that is pretty cool. All right, now we're just going to take our time. We're going to go around all of our brown areas. Beautiful. Now we're just...
Okay, there we go. That has got a lot of rust on it in all kinds of different spots.
All right, now we're going to
Come in with our silver.
All right, there we go. Look at that silver hit on all these little front edges. Right now. Look. Okay, look at this
Right in here.
Man, these little silver hits on the edges, really, really cool. And now you're just going to take your time. You're going to go all the way around the whole piece. You're going to hit some corners and some edges. All right, there we go. We've got nice silver hits on all these little edges everywhere. So
all right, we're going to come in with our
acid brush. We're going to dip it, wipe most of it off, and then we're going to come in at the front. We're going to look at that. Ooh, man, those are cool. Look at that. Nice little streaky dry brush scratching. All right, look at this right here. Oh, it's beautiful. We came in, we did these little hits on tons of front edges of things, and then we came in with our acid brush and we dry brushed some really wispy kind of scratches, like right in here, right on these edges, just like this, in the middle here, back here coming off the edges, and we just did that all the way around the whole piece. All right, now we're going to come in with our masking tape.
All right, there we go.
Sweet. All right, now we're going to come in with some brown, and we're going to come in with some black, and we're going to come in with just a little bit of water. Okay, we'll let all the water drain out so that it's pretty dry. We're going to make individual darker stripes, just like that. Okay, now we're going to make the little trigger guard. Alright, so let's see here. We can use this old rusted metal dowel that we have, which is... Okay, we're just going to try to make a generic sort of a bend in this thing, just like that. Okay, there we go. This is going to come in right there. Let's make here and right there. Big clip. All right, we're going to have to drill a hole right there, and right there. Right, this is going to go in here, so that means this has to come at a sort of at a slight angle. So let's try it. All right, and then here comes the other one. It's going to go sort of at this angle. All right, let's get our... All right, there we go. Check it out. Now we put wet cement in there. So the wet cement went down in the cavity. And when the moisture content evaporates, it should stick in there just fine. That's pretty cool, man. Nice. All right, there you go. Dig that, man. You saw the whole painting process. Not bad at all. Most of it was spraying it black. Then we came in with some gray and then a little tiny bit of silver. And then we did this two-tone treatment for the rust. And then we came in here with our silver and hit some edges and got some wispy scratches all over it. Wrapped our cool duct tape handle. Purposely got some folds and overlaps in there. And then we washed it with some mud and bent our steel rod and put it in there for the trigger guard. We didn't put a trigger in here because we don't want to mess with it. This is easier to fiddle around with like this. So there you go, man. That is totally cool. Wow. All right, loving that thing. All right, so with that last detail, putting on our trigger guard with our steel rod there, that brings our Looper Blunderbuss build to a close. Pow. Or should I say boom. There it was, the blunderbuss. Super easy. You saw how we basically built the whole thing off of a 48mm dowel. And the rest was just attaching pieces on there. Easy stuff. Did a little bit of shaping on the handle, but totally easy. This thing is super easy. And the paint job was easy too. We sprayed the whole thing with flat black. Used some gray wrought iron to just blotch it up to make it start feeling oxidized, which is the first layer of weathering. And painted some little silver areas real easy. And then we jumped back into the weathering by using two different kinds of brownish red to start making little rust patches all over the place. We've done rust a couple different ways over the years. This is a little bit different than some of the other ones we've done, but whatever you want to do, man, it's up to you. And then we came in with the final step, which was scratching, man. That's when it really gets tight. We came in with our silver brush and hit a lot of edges, gives it that scratched look, that chipped off look, and then we came in with our acid brush and we dry brushed some really wispy scratches that gives it that perfect scratched up, weathered look. And then the handle, we just wrapped it with masking tape and made sure we got some folds and overlaps and creases in there so it doesn't look perfect. And then we dirtied it up with some mud wash, which is very fun and very effective, man. It looks like a grimy, old, used up, taped grip. And we bent our little steel rod for our trigger guard. Kapow! All right, that's it. Once again, super fun. I love this thing, had to build it. So that concludes making an EVA foam blunderbuss. Hope you liked it. If you did, give us a like, share us with a friend, and subscribe to this channel. And together we're going to go step by step through a lot more super cool builds so that you get the props you deserve. Thanks for coming. See you next time.